it is clear that Afghan women today are rightly afraid not just for their rights and the Constitution that was written to protect them, but literally afraid that the gains they have made with all of our help will be washed away in a rush to achieve a peace that will not hold anyway. This is not just morally wrong. This is dangerous. Dangerous to every country represented here. We must not allow a reign of terror against women and girls. The women of Afghanistan have come too far to be excluded from the negotiating table while their rights are being stripped away. But it also is true we cannot allow that to happen to Afghan women and girls because there is a direct correlation with what will happen in the country and the region and indeed the world because of that. Going forward, there are 4 things that need to happen. First, we should all agree that the Afghan government must be brought into the discussion. We all must remain diplomatically engaged and committed to pushing forward an inclusive intra-Afghan process, one that allows not only the Afghan government, but the Afghan civil society that has been created against such odds over the last years to be represented at the peace table. We need to enable communication to the negotiators from the broader society whose lives and futures are at stake. Look, I know how difficult this has been. From the very beginning, the Taliban said they would not talk to the Afghan government. But we must simply not accede to those wishes, leaving the Afghan government on the hook. Second, troop withdrawals must be conditioned on the Taliban keeping their word. The troops on the ground remain an important lever to persuade the Taliban to end the violence. Our goal has long been to ensure that the Taliban would cease hostilities and violence, agree to abide by the Afghan Constitution and the laws that have been enacted by the Parliament of Afghanistan. The Taliban must prove that they understand and respect the significant changes that have occurred in Afghan society and demonstrate that they are willing to abide by the Constitution and give up violence and go forward in a peaceful political process. Third, our long-term engagement with Afghanistan should not be measured by troop presence alone. We cannot forget the entire country simply because the conflict has ended. We made that mistake before. Let's make a commitment that we will bring to bear all elements of civilian power, development, diplomacy, democracy, to help the Afghan people to pursue the better future they deserve.